Oh, hello, applied science students. So this is going to be the first of a daily video that I'm going to post, and you'll find the links to this website in your email, and I'll also send you out a remind directing you to the link where this is going to be found. But the daily video is going to explain what I expect you to be working on, how you're going to turn work in, how we'll communicate, etc. This one's going to be kind of long because I got a lot of preliminary stuff that I need to cover on it. So bear with me, but I do ask you to watch it and of course pay attention to it, etc. So let's go ahead and get started here. The very first thing that is going to be critical here is that you need to sign in for attendance purposes. And the place that you're going to do this is in your OneNote. And when you open up OneNote, you need to go to the collaborative space, and you'll see that I added a new section in the collaborative space called the Distance Learning Check-in. And when you open it up, there'll just be the one page here. It'll say the daily video and check-in. And what's going to be important is that you actually sign in. I'll also have this video posted there for an archive reason and under today's date. But all you need to do is click after the last person that's typed their name, hit enter, it'll give you a new number, and then you just type your name in. The nice thing about OneNote is it tells me who typed and when you typed it in. So I'll be looking for you to have had entered it, hopefully during the class period, since we're doing this on the AB schedule. So if you're in third period, I should see you logging in during third period's time slot, fourth period, the same thing. So that's going to be critical, especially for credit purposes. They are taking attendance during this distance learning experience. So please make sure that you do that. For communication purposes, I'm going to be using several different apps to communicate with you during this process. Our primary form of communication is going to be using the Remind app since it can text, and that means you need to be signed up. As of this morning, I only saw about 37 out of 56 students signed up. So I sent you an email, so check your school email. That's going to be important to actually be checking that daily. And there should be an email from me with a link. If you haven't signed up, click on it, follow the instructions to sign up on Remind, and we'll go from there. There may be times that I'm going to give you direct instruction, and to do that, I'll be using this video conferencing tool called Zoom. I don't anticipate using that much for this class, but if necessary, I will. And I will be sending you out a remind and an email with the link to get into the Zoom conference. You may be familiar with it by the time I use it because I know a lot of other teachers are going to be using it as well. The next kind of way you can always check for communication will be the Columbia web page. I've sent you a link in your email that takes you straight to the web page that I have the daily video for applied science. I expect you to watch it. I'll also, under the video, post what work I think you should be working on that you can accomplish during this time. So again, communication is going to either be through Remind, email, Zoom, the website, all of them, just depends. So you really need to be on top of things and pay attention. For getting work done, this is basically going to be the same process that we've done in class. Your work will be completed in OneNote. So for example, if you're working on this final product for the research on fish, which is completing this table over here on your OneNote page, when you're finished with it, all you have to do is go to Summit, find it, and submit that I'm done on OneNote so that I can grade it. If there's a hard copy that you need to do, some paper like a coloring diagram, I'll talk about that on the next slide, about how you go about completing a hard copy. It's a little more complicated, but I think we can easily get it done. The one thing we're going to postpone doing for right now are the videos on these different animal topics. Since they don't have the videos on YouTube where I can direct you to watch them to complete the worksheet, that may have to be done later when we come back, if we come back. So I'll just kind of put that on hold and only hold you to getting the final products done and the different diagrams under this unit. So if we have to do a hard copy assignment like a diagram, and if you didn't already pick up a copy of the diagram to color, which many of you weren't in class the last time we held class to get them, you're going to have to follow this procedure that I have outlined here on this slide of what you're going to have to do to complete it, get it turned into me digitally, and so that I can give you a grade for it. So it's not that complicated, but you will need to have a printer available, hopefully, to be able to do this, since you won't be able to come into school and pick these up from the school. So the first thing you're going to have to do is you got to print out the diagram. So you'll just plug your printer into your device and print it out. And then you're going to color it, photograph it, put it back on your OneNote page for me to do. Now the printing out of the diagram, what you have to do is you have to go to OneNote and find the page where the diagram is located. And what you're going to do here is you've got to open up the attachment. It'll say a PDF attachment. You have to open it in your computer, and so that it opens like right here. And then what you have to do is print that. Don't try to print the OneNote page because it will probably separate things into multiple pages and the diagram would be too small to color. You need to actually open it and then print it. So once you have got it printed, then you can of course color it. And the most important thing is you have to have your name on it. If you don't write your name on it, I won't accept it even though you put it on your OneNote page. I have to see that your name is written on the hard copy. Once you've colored it, you're going to photograph it, and then you're going to insert it back onto the OneNote page in the spot that I say to put it. When I look at it, I have to be able to see your name so that you're not handing photographs around of colored diagram to your friends. Your name has to be written on the actual hard copy diagram. And then, of course, you'll go to Summit and say that you're done. Now, notice with these diagrams in this animal unit, you have to have all of them done. I believe there are 6 before you can get credit for that checkpoint. So let's make sure that you've done that. And again, this is only if you didn't get the copy. Some of you got them already, so you just need to finish them. I actually have several people that have finished and turned them in, which is a good thing. And I'll be updating your grades probably today. So in terms of what you can be working on during this week is the information that I have in the section called the Animal Life video series. You should be able to get all of the coloring diagrams done, and you should also be getting onto the research assignments. So you'll see that I have circled them on this slide. The research assignments will always say final product, diagrams will say diagrams. With the final product, you'll be completing these tables. You'll need online access where you're going to put in a picture of the class of animal, and then you have to give me 3 characteristics of that animal that you've researched online. Just type them in there. Each final product has its own separate summit, so you can submit them as finished. The diagrams all have to be completed before you turn them in. Anything that says labs that we have right now we can't do online, so we're postponing them. Hopefully when we get back to the classroom, which is the soonest we'll be back is after the 20th of April. That may be extended. We'll watch the news to find out. Check your emails so that the district might be letting you know, Mr. Wollstonhume, etc. So any labs I will just postpone and we'll deal with it when we get back to school. Any overdue work, though, that you may have in Summit from previous units, even if they are labs, because many of you did the labs but just haven't turned in and finished the write-ups on them and that sort of thing, so you can get those turned into me, like overdue work. Those can all be done. But if they're new labs that I have listed that we were going to do, we won't be able to get those completed until we get back to the classroom. The same goes with these video worksheets that you find here in the OneNote. We will, if we have time, watch them when we come back to class so you can complete the worksheets. If not, then I'll just be removing them from the Summit course, but I'm going to wait to do that to see how long we're going to be out of class. So hopefully this will give you an idea of what you can be working on starting today, and our next class would be Thursday. So this is this week's work. I'll be posting a daily video every class period, just either reminding you what you should be working on, or if there's new stuff that I want you to work on, explaining what we're going to do. But again, if you have any questions, the best way to get me is using the Remind app. So that's why you need to sign up. And also email is kind of the secondary way. Remember, I'm not going to be in school. I'll only go in once a week to water the plants. So I'm not there for you to come in and pick up work or anything like that. That's not going to happen during this time. So good luck and hang in there. Things should be getting better soon. Thank you.